Now it's time for On Point, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into the biggest news stories in the spotlight right now. COVID-19 is on most people's minds, but unfortunately we have to inform you that it's also norovirus season. Norovirus is a very common stomach bug in a great many countries, including here in South Korea. Sometimes it's referred to as the winter vomiting bug. It is extremely contagious, so it spreads very easily in environments such as schools, hospitals and other tightly packed and enclosed areas. You can fall foul of it at any time of the year, but it is much more common to see people coming down with it during the colder winter months, and we are slap bang in the middle of that here in South Korea.
So if a new variant of COVID-19 wasn't enough to worry about, we have to be on guard against this nasty bug that can lay us out for days. For more on this, we're joined by Dr. Bruce Lee, Professor of Health Policy and Management at the City University of New York. Good morning, Dr. Lee.
Good morning.
So, Doctor, for viewers who want to be alert about the symptoms of the norovirus, can you describe what they are and how does this virus normally spread, and can we easily tell it's different from COVID-19?
Yeah, so there's a reason why it's called the winter vomiting bug, because severe vomiting and nausea are hallmarks of it. You can have different types of GI symptoms. You can have diarrhea, so basically GI symptoms. And you can tell the difference between norovirus and COVID-19 because it's primarily GI. Now, of course, COVID-19 can have GI symptoms, but with norovirus, you don't tend to have respiratory symptoms or some of the more odd symptoms that you have with COVID-19, like loss of taste and smell and things like that.
Okay, it doesn't sound very pleasant. I'm pretty sure I've never had norovirus before, so perhaps I'm one of the lucky ones. But how long does it generally take for a relatively healthy person to recover from it? And as a doctor, is it advisable to just try and see it through at home, or should you in certain cases go to the hospital?
Yeah, usually you can see through it at home, and the symptoms can last from a couple days to a week depending on your situation. But the key thing is you want to make sure that you don't get dehydrated, because this is unlike other types of vomiting diseases. People will report very severe vomiting and severe nausea, and it can range in terms of length, but you really want to make sure that you're well hydrated. So there's usually no need to go to the hospital unless you're having problems like that.
So, well, it's better not to get caught, but for those who unfortunately get caught, do you have any specific tips on how to make the experience a little bit more comfortable? Because I hear that some of the best ways could be just rest up and drink as much as you can.
Exactly. You want to keep very well hydrated, because the biggest risk is you get dehydrated, and then that, of course, can affect the rest of your body, and that can either, if you're healthy, it can affect you. You can have problems in terms of dizziness and lightheadedness and losing volume. But like if you have other types of illnesses, it can actually exacerbate those things, like it can make heart disease or any other types of problems worse. And so you just want to be very careful about that.
Now, finally, you are based in New York, and that's been hit particularly hard by COVID-19 and has really put an enormous strain on the city and the wider state's healthcare system. Are officials there concerned that this kind of double whammy of COVID-19, in addition to norovirus, could put an extra strain on the healthcare systems? And are certain countermeasures already in place to potentially deal with this?
Yeah, that's a big concern, because we have to remember during the winter, there's all sorts of different bugs, other types of pathogens that are circulating. So certainly the flu, you've got norovirus that's a concern. You've got other types of things like respiratory syncytial virus, RSV. So all of these things can add up and really overtax hospitals and healthcare systems. So one of the challenges in New York is really trying to create that extra capacity, because over the years, many of the hospitals have been running at full capacity, trying to save costs. But we can't do that. We can't have that type of situation. We need extra buffer capacity.
All right, Dr. Lee, we appreciate you making time for us today. Thank you so much for your efforts. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.